Why Jaime Lannister killed the Mad King during the sack of King's Landing. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you love House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, and deep dives into Westerosi lore. Let's begin. The Mad King, Aerys II Targaryen, was one of the most infamous rulers in Westerosi history. His reign, marked by paranoia, cruelty, and violence, culminated in the sack of King's Landing. But one of the most controversial moments of this period was the death of Aerys at the hands of Jaime Lannister, a young knight who would later earn the nickname Kingslayer. At first glance, Jaime's action appears treacherous, a betrayal of his oath as a member of the Kingsguard. Yet, the story is far more complex. Jaime did not kill the king for ambition or personal gain. He did it to save countless lives and prevent Westeros from plunging further into chaos. To understand why Jaime Lannister killed the Mad King, we must examine the political and social context of King's Landing, the character and descent of Aerys II Targaryen, Jaime's personal morals, loyalty, and choices, the long-term consequences of the Kingslayer's decision, the reign of the Mad King. Aerys II Targaryen began his reign as a young and promising king, but over the years, his rule deteriorated. Paranoia and mistrust defined his governance, targeting allies and enemies alike. He became notorious for executing nobles without cause, creating an atmosphere of fear. The once proud Targaryen dynasty was slowly unraveling from within as rebellion and dissent grew. By the time Robert Baratheon's rebellion reached the gates of King's Landing, Aerys' actions had left the kingdom ripe for catastrophe. Jaime's position and moral dilemma. Jaime Lannister joined the Kingsguard at a young age, swearing an oath to protect the king. His duty was clear: defend Aerys with his life, uphold the honor of the Kingsguard. Yet, Jaime faced a profound moral dilemma as the Mad King's plans for King's Landing became increasingly destructive. He realized that following the king blindly could result in the deaths of thousands, including innocent civilians. This tension between honor, duty, and morality would define Jaime's infamous choice. The political and military context. During Robert's rebellion, King's Landing was on the brink. Robert Baratheon's forces approached the city, ready to storm the capital. Aerys had no realistic plan to defend the city, instead plotting mass destruction. The Mad King commanded caches of wildfire beneath King's Landing, intending to burn the entire city to prevent its capture. Jaime understood that if Aerys succeeded, the deaths of tens of thousands of innocent men, women, and children would be inevitable. The Mad King's descent into madness. By the final days of the rebellion, Aerys' behavior had become increasingly erratic. He feared betrayal at every turn, trusting no one. He ordered the execution of loyal nobles, eroding support for his rule. His plan to destroy King's Landing was the ultimate proof of his unhinged state, revealing a king more dangerous to his people than to his enemies. This context is essential. Jaime did not act out of ambition or cowardice. He acted to prevent a catastrophe orchestrated by a ruler consumed by madness. Jaime's moral calculation. Jaime's decision was guided by a complex moral calculus. Protect the kingdom and its people, even if it meant breaking his sacred oath. Save lives by stopping a king who intended mass slaughter and destruction. Accept the personal consequences of being labeled a traitor or dishonorable knight. Jaime's act reflects a choice between blind loyalty and moral responsibility, a theme central to his character throughout Game of Thrones. The pivotal moment came when Jaime confronted Aerys in the throne room. The Mad King demanded loyalty and threatened to ignite the wildfire beneath the city. Jaime recognized that inaction would doom everyone, including himself, his family, and the citizens of King's Landing. With a heavy heart, Jaime struck, killing Aerys and ending the immediate threat of total annihilation. This moment was a profound act of courage and moral responsibility, though it would haunt Jaime for the rest of his life. The consequences of Jaime's action were immediate and long-lasting. Thousands of lives were saved, as the wildfire plot was averted. Jaime earned the infamous nickname Kingslayer, a label he would carry as both a badge of honor and a mark of shame. Political fallout was complicated. The act technically violated the sacred oath of the Kingsguard, leading to mixed perceptions of honor and betrayal. Despite the controversy, Jaime's decision is widely regarded as an act of pragmatic heroism. Jaime's personal reflections. Jaime's internal struggle highlights the human cost of difficult decisions. He understood that killing the king was necessary, but would forever taint his honor. The label of Kingslayer haunted him, affecting relationships and reputation. Jaime's journey afterward reflects a man seeking redemption, balancing past deeds with future actions. This duality, heroism and dishonor intertwined, defines Jaime as one of the most complex characters in Westeros. Tywin Lannister, Jaime's father, had his own stake in the rebellion. Tywin led Lannister forces to join Robert's rebellion, securing influence over King's Landing. While Tywin's motivations were largely political and self-serving, Jaime's decision was moral and immediate. The contrast between Tywin and Jaime highlights the tension between power, duty, and conscience. Jaime's act can therefore be seen as choosing humanity over political ambition, setting him apart from his father's Machiavellian strategies. Historians and fans debate Jaime's actions. Some view him as dishonorable, violating sacred vows of the Kingsguard. Others recognize the necessity and moral courage of his decision, saving thousands of lives. Most agree Jaime's choice embodies the conflict between duty, morality, and personal honor. The episode of the Kingslayer killing the Mad King is a defining moment in Westerosi history, shaping perceptions of loyalty, morality, and heroism. Jaime's act reflects several recurring themes in Game of Thrones. 1. The complexity of honor. Blind loyalty is not always virtuous. 2. Moral pragmatism. Sometimes saving lives requires difficult choices. 3. The human cost of leadership. Decisions are never purely right or wrong. 4. Legacy and perception. How society interprets actions can diverge from intent. Jaime's story challenges viewers to reconsider traditional notions of honor and heroism. The killing of Aerys shaped Jaime's entire character arc. Shame and reputation. Kingslayer became a burden and a source of internal conflict. Redemption and growth. Jaime's later actions reflect attempts to reconcile past deeds with personal honor. Complex heroism. He embodies the gray morality of Westeros, showing that true heroism is not always recognized. Jaime's arc demonstrates that morality in Westeros is rarely black and white. From a military and political perspective, killing Aerys was strategically necessary, prevented the destruction of King's Landing via wildfire, maintained political stability in a volatile moment, secured the Lannisters' position as power brokers in the new regime. Jaime's